Welcome back to the Iced Coffee Hour. I'm Shelby Church, and so far the podcast has made 250,000.
That's actually a really good
Very
guess.
close.
Yeah.
199.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Was it
I almost said
199,098?
Yeah, we were trying to throw you
Yeah.
off.
Okay, yeah.
Had you said 2, you would have been the closest so far of anybody
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, really?
Off by
Okay,
1,000.
Well, it's almost cheating because I watched an episode, or I listened to one in the car not long ago, so I knew it would be around that range.
It's
Great
not
guess.
bad. Which episode do you watch?
I don't remember because I'll like click on them if I'm on like a road trip kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Let me see.
Be like,
I swear I did.
Be like, it's not important.
It was my last episode.
Just make it small talk.
So funny. Oh, I listened to the tech lead one.
Oh,
I was like,
man, the drama.
whoa.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
So
interesting.
I don't know if we get right into the juicy drama with Tech Lead right now, or maybe you should introduce yourself for a second. How about you introduce
Okay.
yourself, and
All
then
right.
we'll talk about what happened with Tech Lead. We'll keep everyone on their
cool,
toes.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm Shelby Church. I'm a YouTuber. I make all kinds of videos, don't really ever stick to any specific niche. So everything from like sometimes real estate stuff. I have an Airbnb in Palm Springs, so videos about home renovations, travel, all that. But yeah, I do YouTube and have an Airbnb.
And also, you two have had a long-lasting relationship of you reacting to her videos and starting some drama because he would. So you had a gripe with Graham because Graham would make sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, you make more off my videos than I make on my videos.
I know, and I feel terrible. I
Do
feel
you?
so bad.
Do
I
you
do.
feel? I don't know about that, Graham, because you keep.
I've linked first of all, Shelby's name, your name. Talking like you're not here. Your name is in every single one of my titles. Your every single time, like go and subscribe to Shelby Church. The link is in the description. It's at the very top. Every single time, I do feel bad.
It's
Because
all good.
yeah,
It's really a YouTube thing. It's not like you're somehow able to like choose that, but it's just crazy because I'm like, oh, I put so much work into it. But you
I know, and that's one of the things when I watch your videos. Every single time, I compliment them because I'm like, the amount of B-roll that you do for every
Love
video
B-roll.
is mind blowing of just how much planning goes into these videos and how much research you did. Like I loved the 3D printed home tour video you did.
That was a great video.
Was really good.
we should react to it.
We should react to that.
They wouldn't tell me how much that cost though, and I really wanted to know.
I feel like it'd be a lot.
Yeah, I think so, because they were building it not as like this is what you could have. Really, it was more of like a showcase of like this is the nicest one. They got a really good architect in Texas to make it, so they were trying to make it like almost like their Model S, you know, and then they'll have Model 3s that they'll like roll out.
So
That makes sense.
You toured a 3D printed house, so they actually had like this weird crane looking thing that could like lay whatever material it was.
concrete.
Yeah, it looked like
Yeah.
toothpaste,
Back and forth.
and it created
Really cool.
an actual house.
Yeah, it's a mix of concrete and something else, so they call it lavacrete. And they're making like, I forget what they even call it. It's like a Martian habitat thing at a NASA center. They're doing all kinds of stuff, like not just houses. It's crazy.
And do you think that there's actually like sustainability in that, or there's like longevity in that? Will that keep going?
I think so, because they're already building like a community of 100 of them in Austin, because it saves time, like the labor of like building the walls and stuff. But I guess it's a little misleading because people think like, oh, you 3D print the whole house, but you can't 3D print like plumbing. You can't 3D print like doing electrical work. Like there's so much you still have to do. Like you can't 3D print anything about a kitchen, you know? But it saves some labor and time, and then maybe they can figure out the other stuff later. But I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's a step in making home building automated, which I think is so interesting. Like prefab houses, all that stuff. I love researching.
Yeah, the prefabs are. I don't like them though because they're a lot very boxy, very square. But with this one, you could do like cool
it was
corners,
cool.
and curved
Yeah.
edges,
Cool.
and it's very neat. But I have a feeling it's so expensive for them because this is like brand new, and it's like here's what we could do, and it's more of like a
Yeah.
showcase.
They say that it's 10 to 30% cheaper, but it's like, I don't know that for sure because I don't have the numbers.
Yeah.
But
How long does it take you to plan out a video like that?
that one didn't take that long. I just found the house, emailed them, like talked to, actually a subscriber messaged me about it. They're like, you should check this out. Because I think they knew I was going to be in Austin for South by Southwest. And so it's like a bit of time coordinating, okay, when can I go check it out? I shot there for maybe 2 hours, not that long. Ideally, I would longer, but it was kind of busy because it was South by Southwest. So they like had stuff to do. So I was like, get as much as I could in that time. And then I took a long time to edit it actually because I have a new camera that it just requires more steps to stabilize all the footage. And I don't know, color correct it. I shot on 2 different cameras. So like trying to make them look similar because one, it shoots very flat and cinematic. And then the Sony one I have shoots just more, I guess, digital looking. So I don't know. It's probably like a day and a half or 2 days to edit, maybe more.
It's a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez, how long does it take you to edit one of your videos, Graham?
4 hours usually, 4 to 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love
Max.
to speed up. I want to find an editor, but I've realized it needs to be like a really like a producer, like collaborator, because there's so much voiceover and all of that. Like, I don't think I can send it away. There's so much footage, first of all. It'll be like 50 gigabytes of footage. If I were to upload that and send it to someone, that would just take like 2 days to even send. So I got to find someone just in Seattle or something.
You got to do what we do. Alex set up a server. I've never seen this before. You upload direct to, like, I could upload from my computer, goes directly to Alex's computer. And normally I was uploading Dropbox. The thing would take like 1 to 2 hours. For this, I upload the entire video, so more footage, and it's like 20 minutes.
And can you get on it when you're like in a different state?
Yeah.
Or is it,
Yep. Yeah. The biggest limiter is your internet speed. But if you live in a newer type house, people are having fiber in the houses now. And so, yeah, if you have fiber in both locations, it could be super fast.
Yo, wait a second. You left California, right? Wow. Okay, I think we got the title here. Why Shelby Church left California. What she hates about California. When did you leave? When was this?
I left in October because my lease was up, and I toured a bunch of places, and I just didn't really like any of them because everything was kind of taken at that time. It was like a weird time. It still is, I think, trying to find a place to rent. So I would go tour places and they'd be like, we have 1 unit left in this whole building, and it would be on the bottom floor, terrible lighting. Like, it would be fine if you didn't do YouTube, but I was just like, this just isn't gonna work. And the prices were also a lot more than they used to be. I just wasn't excited about it. I was like, maybe I should just put my stuff in storage and go try somewhere else, because I lived in LA for 8 years. So that's what I ended up doing. I went to New York for a month, and then I've kind of bounced around. I did another month in LA because it was, in February, it's kind of cold most places. And I think it's helpful if you're making videos to be somewhere that's sunny. Like, 'cause I shoot a lot of stuff outside, and I just prefer it personally. Like, I just like nice weather. So I left, and now I just got a place in Seattle because it's going to be nicer in the summer. But I've even considered like still having a place in California in the winter maybe would be nice.
Yeah.
Because I still like California. Like, there are things I definitely don't like about it, especially when I went to New York for a month. I was like, whoa, LA, there are a lot of things that I don't like that I just didn't even think about.
Like what?
Mostly traffic and how it's not walkable. Like, you have to drive everywhere. And I just realized I hate driving, kind of. Like,
Okay.
I actually just, it makes me feel like drained and tired. And I
Even
like,
in the Tesla, which drives for you.
okay, what I
Really?
realized though is I need my windows tinted because
Yes.
it's like the sun beating down on you. But yeah, I don't know, something about it, I just don't like it. I like taking the subway and stuff. I know some people really don't like it, but I was like, this is amazing. After being somewhere where you have to drive and park and all that, it was nice to be able to walk and just like hop on and like do stuff on your phone. I like that a lot, yeah.
Did taxes play a role in that or no?
It did in my final decision of where to live, because I did want to live in New York, but it's even higher of taxes than LA, and the rent is higher and everything. And I really just looked at like, where do I want to be in 5 years? Like, I don't really want to build a life in New York. I think it's worth it if you want to live there forever. Like, then yeah, might as well do it. But I would probably live there for like 2 years, have fun, and then go either to California, Seattle, or wherever. And it's just a huge cost to do that, when I could probably, like, I like New York, but I think I would get sick of it, especially in the winter. And yeah, you pay, I think it's like 14% total taxes, state taxes there.
I thought California was the
Yeah,
highest.
California is the highest.
at
Is there some
13.
sort of
I
like
think-
city tax there
yeah.
as well?
Could be.
Yeah. So it ends up being a lot. And the rent is just even more than
Yeah.
California.
And what's the state tax
Okay.
in Seattle?
None.
Really?
Yeah, there's none in Washington.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, we're going to be going to Seattle We'll have to talk about this probably in the next like 2 weeks.
Oh,
The
really?
day
For
trip,
again?
the day trip.
Oh yeah, day trip.
Yeah.
What's it for again?
Just for
The
a
Tesla
day?
thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait, what's the Tesla thing?
I got a Tesla Roadster. But like the
cool.
original one. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
picking it up, but I'm meeting the guy in Seattle, Washington. We're going to do a podcast with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his name is Carl Medlock, and he's known as the Tesla Whisperer because he keeps all of the original Roadsters alive. That's like this guy. He owns, I think, multiple Tesla Roadsters. So I bought one of his.
I've seen one once, an original one, and I saw it like plugged in and everything, but it just looked like it was charging a lot slower, but that would be cool to have.
Yeah. So just imagine, like you make the Tesla Model 3 content and that blows up.
Mm-hmm.
What's a Roadster going to do? It's either going to bomb or it's going to do really well.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
mean,
excited to see.
Definitely when the new Roadsters come out, like that's gonna do
that's gonna blow up.
insanely well whenever that does. And the Cybertruck.
Yeah. How is the Palm Springs place going?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's awesome. Yeah. So we put it live on Airbnb in January. And the first couple days we didn't get any bookings. And I was like, should we lower our price? Like
What was your price?
$700 a night.
Oh my gosh, $700.
Yeah, it's like a lot. So my
That's-
property
yeah.
manager
Oh my gosh.
recommended that because she manages like a bunch of Airbnbs. She was like, trust me, this is the going rate for this kind of house. So I was like, okay. And then it really did fill up. Like March ended up being 26 out of 31 nights booked. And April was probably like 20 because I blocked off like a few days to go myself. And 2 of those were Coachella weekends, and hopefully no one has rented it for Stagecoach, but I'm hoping
Yeah.
for that. But yeah, it's been really awesome because for so long it just felt like a money pit that I was like working on, and like there would just be small headaches all the time. I was like, is this going to be worth it? And now actually making money from it is so crazy because YouTube, it's like passive income kind of, but not really. Like you really have to be making videos all the time, I think. With this, it's just insane because I get paid for it, and I'm like, I didn't even think about it barely. Like I actually didn't really do much for it because my property manager handles most of like dealing with guests and everything, and then she'll let me know if we need like we had someone come out and fix some electrical thing.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's like she handles even that. She'll just tell me like, okay, is it cool if we charge for this? And I'm like, yeah. Or I'll order stuff on Amazon. Someone broke the Nest, so I just ordered one.
How'd they break it?
It fell off. Like they were trying to reset it, and those things they can like pop off. Like you can take it off. So I think it like shattered. But I just like mentally prepared myself. Like things are gonna break. Like little things like that. Like it's fine. Like that will happen.
Yeah.
So have you found it to be really profitable?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess I forget what I said in the video, the one that was going over March, but that one, I think it ended up being after our property manager, after her fees, we made $12,000 for that month. And then the mortgage and all the expenses is like 4 to 5. So after that was like 7, I guess. But I feel like it paying the mortgage and everything is still a little bit like, in my mind, that's still like equity into it. So I was really happy with that. I think April is going to be a bit more because of Coachella.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. With just like, I can go for free. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't really have to put much time into it.
What was your all in on that? Like the total cost with renovation? Because I saw
Like
you
with
did
the
a lot of the
down payment?
renovation. Like you did a lot of that yourself, and like you were there a lot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we hired people to do like a lot of it. We pretty much painted the ceilings ourselves and then like knocked out a wall, and then little things like we put in the doorknobs and like stuff like that. Stuff that you would do in an apartment even. I forget, like the down payment ended up being like $250 or something like that because of the limit, like the loan limit in Riverside County at that time. Now it's higher. I think it's like 700,000 now, but then it was like 500,000. So we put down more than 20%, which everyone's always like, oh.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. And then the renovations, I think it was like 150,000 into renovations. So maybe a little more than that. But yeah, I think that somebody who is really good with like home construction could do this whole thing a lot cheaper. But we definitely did stuff just because we like want it as a second vacation type of house too. So we're like, let's get this tile. I like it. We're not going to go with the cheapest thing like you would maybe a flip.
Yeah.
So yeah, it ended up being a lot, but now I'm like, it's so nice getting that passive income.
Yeah. So what was the total cash on that? You said how much down?
250.
250 plus 150. So you're in at 400,000, and you're making probably what, 60,000 a year net back? Like if you averaged,
probably.
Right? So you're making about 12% cash return on your money plus paying down the equity plus the
Yeah.
appreciation.
Yeah,
It's
it
really good.
appreciated so much.
Yeah.
I was like,
What do you think it's worth now? Like 1
like
point?
1.2 or
Really?
3. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we bought it for 750.
Gosh, the market's
It's crazy.
nuts.
I'm like,
Yeah.
how is that even real? Oh, I kind of like that because it's obviously it's cool, but it then makes it harder to buy anything else.
Yeah.
So,
Palm Springs
yeah.
has become really trendy though with Coachella. Like now people are catching on to it as like this cool like vacation spot.
Because you can go golfing. There's like really cool restaurants there. There's like a lot of stuff you can do. I think people just like to go have a house with a pool and like chill, relax, grill, do that kind of thing.
Needs a casino there. That's what they need. There is?
Yeah.
Really?
I haven't been to it, but I think my sister went once.
Wait,
Yes.
how is that legal?
Because there's Indian
casino.
land.
Yeah.
So basically, like
there's one right
every
next to it.
other like plot of land is Indian land. And so some houses are on leased land, but ours is on, I really didn't want that. Cause I'm like, what? I know you can renegotiate your lease, but like imagine that ends in 30 years. What if they're just like, no?
There's always a possibility. You're like, no, we want to put a casino there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, just get rid of your house. Like that would suck. So I avoided that.
Yeah. There's significant parts of Marina Del Rey, believe it or not, that are on land leases. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who owns it?
I think it's the state. I could be totally wrong, but they're all those big high-rise condo buildings are land leases. Not all of them, but a significant portion of Marina Del Rey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so they expire. I think a big chunk of them expire in like 2050, 2040. So they're starting to negotiate them now. Just like you got to get ahead of it, you know? Because imagine 30 years from now, it's like, well, sorry, we really don't want to. What do? We're going to tear them down. You're out of luck.
So
crazy.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of leased land at all.
Right.
Like, no.
That's great. I'm glad it's going well. Do you ever have subscribers stay there just because it's yours? They saw it online. They're like, I want to stay there.
I don't think so yet. I think it's really just been people on Airbnb that find it because it's like a significant amount of money. Like we do a 4-night minimum. So to stay there, you need to like be willing to pay like a couple $1,000s at least. It accommodates 6 people though. So it's usually groups going, they all split it and then it's like cheaper than a hotel there.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it's not that easy for subscribers to coordinate or like want to pay that much, which is understandable.
I feel like that would be a good video though, wouldn't it?
I know,
like
right?
I reviewed Shelby Church's
would,
Airbnb.
Yeah.
If you're going to stay there anyway,
Yeah.
it's like, and it's a write-off because you're doing it for the video purposes.
I know. I think that would be cool. But no one so far has said that. Like maybe someone did and they just didn't tell us. But I think it's really been people who are like, oh, I go to Palm Springs every year to escape the winter in Chicago or whatever. So I don't think it's subscribers, but who knows? Yeah, I think the best time of year is like right now. Like I was just there before this and it's hot enough that you want to get in the pool and you don't even have to you don't have to pay to heat the pool quite as much as when it's like 60 degrees out. It's so expensive to heat.
Yeah.
That's like our biggest expense is heating the pool.
Didn't you say in your video that you charge the tenants now, or it's like a fee now to heat the pool?
But we still eat a lot of the cost. Like we charge them, I think like $60 a night, but it's actually like $150 a day to heat.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not as much when it's like back-to-back bookings because it takes 2 days to get it up to that temperature. And then you can kind of leave it there. It's not as expensive. Those days are probably like $80 a day. Like I looked on the SoCal Gas website. So if you have people booked back to back, it's a little more efficient, I guess, than if you had one booking for a week and then nothing for a week and then one more. You'd be having to heat it for more than 14 days. It'd be more like 16 because you have to have those 2 days to get it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one thing I'm like, there are solar pool heating stuff, but like our pool equipment is new. Like I don't want to buy another one yet.
Are you looking to buy more real estate, or what are you doing?
Yeah, for a while I was kind of looking in Seattle, but even there I was just like, I don't know. I really wanted a place after like traveling for a while. I was like, I just need to like get a spot rather than wait. Like, I don't know, I guess it's just you want to wait for the right place to buy, you know? And I'm fine with like renting for a year. But I bought a piece of land in Joshua Tree. And so you know Rob Built, that YouTuber?
Yes, he does all the homes there, right? Yes.
Yeah, so we're collaborating on a build out there, like an Airbnb.
That's cool.
In Joshua Tree, yeah. So
now,
cool.
he does those communities, right? Because I subscribed to him back when we met him on the boat a while ago. And he does the big communities, rents out everything. That's cool.
Yeah, and I stayed in his tiny house in Joshua Tree once too and made a video about it. And it was just like really cool. Like it's very unique. It does really well on Airbnb. And it's awesome because he knows everything really about the area. Like contractors in the area, who to call to set up like the percolation test to get a septic tank installed, like all these things that would be like so much harder if I was just doing it on my own. But I can more freely go to it. Like he has a ton of projects going on and I'm always going to Palm Springs, so I can just drive over once construction starts and like check on it more.
That's a great way to make money. So I stayed in Yosemite over this last weekend. Jack, you got to hear this. It's incredible. So I went to this, it's called Auto Camp Yosemite.
Oh, I've heard of these.
Yeah.
Like a Airstream?
Yeah. So you drive in this place, they have 85 Airstreams that are just set up like back to back to back to back. And in between them, they have these like kind of like modular homes that are a little bit bigger. But they all rent between like $250 on the low end to like $500 a high
Airstreams?
Yeah.
per night.
So crazy.
It's a luxury Airstream.
And an Airstream, a renovated one like that is like $150,000. It's not like...
No, I thought less than that.
Yeah, it should be less, but I've heard of they can get up to that if it's like really tricked out.
Yeah, no, I mean, ours was nice. Like you walk in and there's just like a little mini refrigerator, a sink, a bathroom on one side, a bed on the other, windows all around it. And then behind is like just a few chairs and a fire pit. And so I'm sitting there wondering, how much money are these people making? And so I added up. I'm like, okay, average $350 a night. In the middle of it all is like this convenience store. It's like a clubhouse where they have like Wi-Fi, a fire pit, a convenience store, an upper level for stuff. And I calculated that they're probably pulling in about $8 to $9 million a year, gross.
Wow.
And then what's their expense? It's like, cleanings. There's someone at the front desk at all times parking around. So I'm guessing they're probably making about $5.5 million a year from this one community of 85 Airstreams. And it's not even in Yosemite, by the way. It says Auto Camp Yosemite. It's 30 minutes outside of Yosemite. And the place was booked. Like every single one of them was taken. They had nothing.
That makes me think it's like, what if I just bought a house with RV parking, got a cheap trailer, and rented it for like $100 or some, $150 a night?
Yeah. I mean, depending on your land and zoning. But I mean, the area that they developed was specific for this. So they took a big plot of land, they tiered it, so they kind of leveled off certain areas, and then in the middle of it all was like this big. It was man-made lake in the middle of it all.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Fish in it, and like you could go fishing there if you wanted to.
That's crazy.
I'm thinking like, oh my, how amazing would that be? And it probably, I'm guessing this probably would have cost them like, I'm gonna say $10 to $13 million to build this, like from start to finish. So you make your money back within about 2 years, 3 years.
Graham was so excited about this because he texted me.
Yeah.
He's like, by the way, Alex, how much should we pay for the Airstream? And I texted him back. And then like literally 5 minutes later, he's like, so I've calculated that they're making about this much. I'm like, that's how you know Graham, like I knew his
like,
eyes lit up.
This could be cool. Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved this idea.
I love the idea too. I love the idea of Airbnb. Airbnb is so easy. Yeah. It is so easy, and I want to keep doing it, but I just hate having people stay in there.
Now, what's interesting, though, is Yosemite has so many regulations about Airbnb, and they're very strict about Airbnb. So it makes sense that this is like 30 minutes outside. It's Mariposa County. It's right by Oakhurst, so they don't have as strict a regulation. Las Vegas has very strict regulations on Airbnb.
Yeah.
It takes away from the hotels. So if you could find like a cool community somewhere around here, like I would love that. That's
what about where we went to that Pokemon event? Like, but I bet they're Airbnb-ing those Airstreams out.
They are. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It seemed kind of cheap to me.
I think it was.
The
was
Airstream,
like-
like how it was done.
Yeah, we saw it because there's a little community here in Vegas, but it was in a really not good part of town, kind of like downtown Las Vegas. That had maybe 15 of them,
Okay.
surrounding like this pool that looked like it was from the 60s. I'm not a fan of it, but this place in Yosemite, like,
It's cool.
yeah, by Yosemite was
Yeah.
incredible. Like I always loved getting home. I would have stayed there an extra week. Like I loved it, and I never
Really?
said, yeah, I loved it. Jack, if you're looking for a place to go, seriously, for like a
Wait,
weekend
why did you
getaway,
like it so much?
it was nice. It was just like the fresh
Did you work
air.
a lot?
No, not really. I had to do like thumbnails and stuff like that now, but I wanted to.
You wanted to work more?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time not working, but
Yeah.
but it was so just like nice and just like the Airstream. It was really
I'm
nice.
happy
It got
for you,
me,
man.
It got me motivated.
And I
to,
think
like,
it's good. Like, I bet the air that you were breathing over there was like so fresh.
So
Probably.
fresh.
Instead of, like,
All the
just
trees.
rained
office.
It
Yeah.
just rained. Yeah.
Would you ever get an Airstream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that'd
yeah.
be
That's what he
cool.
wants to do.
Yeah.
That's his dream, is to like
One day.
travel.
One?
Yeah, across the United
yeah.
States.
Yeah,
in a
it's the
trailer.
Airstream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Airstreams are interesting because there's one kind I think that you can drive, but usually you have to tow it.
Mhm.
But if you set it up somewhere, it can do so well on Airbnb. But Joshua Tree's like crack down on stuff like that because they're not permitted structures. So those tents, those like glamping things, a lot of the Airstreams have been shut down there. But a lot of places you can still do that.
It's so stupid. Not a
Yeah.
permitted structure. It's a tent. It's like,
yeah,
why,
I don't know why they do that.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
So that would do well too. I think the glamping is gonna only be more popular. It's gonna be really trendy. To like, because I saw that too. The big huge teepees, and they had like 2 beds set up with a heater, and like it was really nice.
I've stayed in a
Yeah.
glamping thing once and it was fun.
Yeah.
Like I would do it again.
So I don't know why they're cracking down on a good thing.
That's interesting. Now you got me thinking. I want to buy a plot of land here.
I
now.
wanted to do that. I
and just
swear.
like throw some trailers on it.
I-
Airstream, sure. Maybe it's an
I mean, it
Airstream.
kind of reminded me of like Brandon Turner's talking about
Yeah.
from Bigger Pockets mobile home parks.
Yeah.
You could take one of those and or develop something similar with those Airstreams. But I obviously we got to figure out a good air. I love the idea. I would do that.
Yeah. My
I'd
sister
seriously
has
do
a
that.
gutted Airstream that still waiting to see what will happen.
She's
with
trying
that.
to sell it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think she's still convinced that she'll eventually
Yeah.
do something with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because there are companies you can just take it to and have them renovate
Yeah.
it rather than, because they're tricky to do yourself because of like the weight and everything. Like you have to use a certain type of tile and whatever.
Yeah.
So that you can still haul it. But I think that they're really cool. Hopefully
Yeah.
that'll be done.
If anyone is watching this who's done this before or knows how to do it, reach out to info at alexandernava.com.
Reach out to info@alexandernava.com
Just put it on the
or
screen.
follow me
All right, so
but I'm
at
being
Alex
serious.
_Nava
I'm being-
_photography. Seriously, serious inquiries only. If you do
Yeah.
have one for sale, message me.
No, not if you have one for sale. If you could develop a community like that of 100 Airstreams,
Oh.
I would invest in that. I would seriously, I'd fund it if someone else knows what they're doing and can run it.
I think I know what I'm doing.
Wow.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like this is something I would love. And then I was thinking, how do you kickstart it? Because you can't just spend like, $10 million creating this community. And it's like, welp, now we wait. Kickstart it with YouTube.
Wow, I didn't
Just
know.
have
I didn't know
people-
you were
have
so
people
into it.
invest in it.
No, not mention. No. But like
Market
to get
it.
the
Oh,
to
reviews.
stay
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
could fill it up pretty easily from people who want to review it, and that helps get the ratings, and you could boost up on Airbnb.
Yeah.
And once you're at the top, then
Wow.
you just
Foolproof.
roll in the money. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. So if anyone's done this before,
Yeah.
Or
But-
even like AutoCamp isn't even probably on Airbnb, right? Like they just like have their own website.
Alex, how do you? I don't know. Are they?
Yeah, we
Alex
just
posted.
we booked it directly through the website. So they could be on Airbnb, I'm not sure. But the reason why Graham was there is also another reason they're making a ton of money. And Graham went for a wedding.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
I mean, they rented the whole thing, right?
no. I mean, out of 85, probably the wedding reception was maybe like 15 of the units.
Oh
Maybe
wow.
20 max. But yeah, but they host like weddings there. They had this like this grassy area, and they can,
Yeah.
but like little events and stuff like that.
But that's extra cash right
that's
there, too.
extra cash.
Yeah, weddings, like anything having to do
Yeah.
with weddings makes like 3 times more than what you normally would.
Yeah.
Like wedding videographers, wedding like dresses
DJs.
or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I've shot some weddings.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, kind of for fun, but like people have paid me and Monica too, because it's sort of fun, but it's a very long day. Like every time after I do it, I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
But it's fun. The footage looks nice. It's fun to shoot like just a very beautiful area because they're always like made up really nice. So it's like satisfying. Like I always love the footage.
How many weddings have you done?
Probably like 5.
Has there ever been a couple that you saw and you're like, no, that's not going to last?
That's not where I thought that question
What?
was going.
What do you think, Jack?
Who asked that, Graham?
I don't know.
What did you think?
That's just not the direction
I'm
I thought the
just
question was
curious.
going. No,
It's
it's a great question. I like it.
Conversation starter.
Yeah.
There's been a couple that I've been like, they seem a little stressed for this day. But like, I feel like I've gotten a lot of insights on weddings because you're like recording the people getting ready and all of that. And people that have the bigger weddings are always so much more stressed out than the smaller ones. They seem like they enjoy the day more because it is just more of a production when there's like 300 people there or whatever.
I mean, statistically, 3 of those are not going to make it.
Yeah.
Jack,
I feel
Jack,
like
you don't have to be so negative.
Me? Statistically, yeah. Divorce rates are over 50%.
No, apparently though, it's less if you're the 50% is a broad range, includes second and third marriages, like third and fourth. So that skews it. But if you look at the first marriage for people over a certain age with like a college degree, like you start whittling it down, it's more like 28%.
Yeah, but you were whittling it down.
Yeah, but if you look at like, okay, you're not on your third marriage.
Sure, even eliminating that, what about just the average Joe?
About 1 in 3.
1 in 3,
Yeah.
30%.
So not as
Maybe just 1 or 2.
Yeah,
But
that,
then-
I never knew it was like those
Yeah.
that data.
Isn't that
But
crazy?
the other thing,
Misleading.
though, is that which might skew it back up is that if they look at millennials, let's say that just got married after like,
that's a good point. Yeah.
you know, can you see that through 30 years and say like, okay, what about 35 years from now? Does that count? Maybe just not enough time has passed. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They don't have enough data, but we could just assume, Jack, half. We could just throw that out there. Let's say half.
I've had 2 cancellations that were friends that have booked weddings. I have no clue how to handle that.
They canceled on you?
Yes, they canceled because they called off the wedding.
Oh, wow.
And it was awkward because they're like either friends or acquaintances. And so usually what I'll tell them is I'll be like, well, you know, I'd say like, you know, give it a week or 2, you know, like I'll give you your money back. But like, I was like, you know, because sometimes they get in fights, and I've seen it all the time. Brides and grooms get in fights before their wedding, and then they cancel, but then they call you back and they're like, oh, you know, we figured it out. We'd like to not cancel. So it gets crazy out there.
I'd ask like, what happened?
I know. Okay, so
So nosy.
the person, no,
Curious, right?
yeah, the person in me wants to ask, but the business in me is like, well, that's none of my business.
Like
If
the
you want-
friends,
professional
right?
side of it. You're like,
or acquaintances, yeah, just like a friend of a friend. Yeah.
I'm just so curious. Like, what happened? Let's talk it through. I'll give you my opinion on it.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for it.
Graham's
but
like,
I'm
you want to
pretty
come on
good
the
at this."
podcast? We'll
fix it.
smash it on the podcast.
That's another thing that I would love to do. So we tried something new here, and we had people pitch us their investments or their like business ideas, and I loved it. We had this
Evan and Reed from
what?
Evan and Reed came on, right? From Ketchup Please.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
about to say ketchup. So how old were they? 19?
Yeah, they're like 19.
19 in college, and they pitched us their product called Ketchup Please, which is a really healthy ketchup, and it was delicious. Good just like so smart, so ambitious. It's really hard to grow in the condiment because people don't like buy condiments that often.
oh right.
But I would love to be like
Relationship advice?
yes,
Same.
but financial related. So I want to see a couple like just getting into it over finances and just unsolicited advice. Like, hey, you want to come on? I'll help you out. Alex, it's
I was going to say, are you giving me permission to find people?
Yes.
yes.
All right. So
Actually, if you're watching this, but you got to weed them out, Alex. You got to make sure it's
There's actual
legitimate
trouble
and
there.
not
All right,
like,
all
you
right.
don't want to be a Jerry Springer.
We want text
Throwing-
screenshots from before we talked about this
Exactly.
of arguments.
If you've had a financial argument and you're in Las Vegas or don't mind traveling here to be on the show, I'd be happy to talk to you and give you my opinion.
What do you think about that, Shelby?
I think it's interesting. I almost think of it as like a whole separate show though.
Probably, realistically, it should not be on the iced coffee hour, but
we just throw, our standards have just gotten so low now.
Yeah.
But is it harder to get guests not being in LA, or there's still like a ton of people always coming to Vegas?
Ton of people.
It's harder, definitely. Like it's harder not being in LA because you had all any influencer in LA.
I feel like I've noticed no difference.
Really?
Really?
I've noticed a little bit of a difference between LA and here. I wouldn't say it's particularly challenging here still, but I think it was easier in LA.
Yeah, I know.
Just more people were in LA.
I think it's easier here. Everyone at some point comes to Vegas for something, and they don't mind traveling here. Because there's something to do. Like LA, it's like, oh, it's kind of expensive. But at least Vegas, it's like, oh, it's a weekend trip to Vegas.
Totally.
Yeah. What brought you out here to Vegas?
Me and Sam went to it's like this company, View Studios. They opened a new studio and had an event. And so he really wanted to go to it. And we're in Orange County area. So we're like, oh, let's go. Like we flew here for the weekend, kind of just for fun and to go to that. And I was like, oh, come on here.
Cool.
So I was like, when will I be able to do that? So yeah, just random trip. Nothing like too crazy. Although I know NAB is going on. So that's why I View, that company, they're basically like a virtual production stage. It's like really crazy that they could shoot like movie or commercial scenes on. So for that event, pretty much.
Yeah. No, I think if you did van life, I tell this to just about everyone.
I think you've told this to her before.
Have I? Have I told you this before?
I think both times we had her on in the
Every
past.
single time.
I mean,
I've
I've been meaning to do a video doing it for like a weekend, but I don't know if I'd do it like forever.
I would give it a week or two. Give it like
really?
2 weeks. Try it out. And I think you could probably like triple views by doing van life. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Because
I do think that would be
everywhere
good, yeah.
you go, you could pick destinations to travel to and then make a video not about that destination, but like weird things in that destination. Like I like Ryan Trahan did like the world's largest potato. I'm not saying you have to do like the largest potato, but like every area is going to have something unique or like some bomb shelter, like just something you'd be able to do and just strategically plan it out in advance.
Just road trip around for a week.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
If you did that in a Tesla Model X, I think because then you attract the Tesla crowd too.
Yeah.
And you have one of those like little mattresses in the back of the car and like what that's like to live in a Tesla.
I know.
For like
I know.
2 weeks.
I slept in one once and I was like, oh, I never want to do it again. Because in the Model X, you know how the like the Falcon doors make it so the middle goes down kind of a lot, and I felt like weirdly claustrophobic in it. I actually felt like the Model 3 felt a little bit roomier because it just like arcs over you like that. So a week in a Model X, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's tough. But a van that has like the whole setup with like a mini kitchen and a bathroom.
Airstream.
Yeah, an Airstream would be cool.
I think if you did that or a luxury RV, try it.
Yeah,
I think that
luxury
would-
RV wouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
But driving it's a little like you have to get a whole separate license for some of those, right?
No. I had a buddy who rented one and just drove it. I think if it's under like 45 feet, I mean, it's pretty generous in terms of what you could do.
Yeah. Okay. It's a good idea.
Yeah. I would do
I'll
that.
try that over the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can we talk income? We don't have to talk too many specifics, but you've made the income breakdown videos in the past, and we've not seen an income breakdown video.
I know. I haven't
me to
done one
react
in a
to.
while. I haven't done one in a while because my AdSense doesn't make as much. I make more off of brand deals now. I don't know what it is. Maybe like after COVID, there's just more brands that are, I think I see it everywhere. Like almost every video I watch on YouTube has like a 1 minute ad break. Do you find that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, good for creators, of course, because those are pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
So I make more off of that than ads, but still like a solid amount. Like I'll make like 10,000 a month off of ads on my main channel. And then like, depending on how much I upload on my vlog channel, 2 to 8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I get, I get brand deals on my vlog channel now too, which I never expected. I was like, what? This is crazy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed ad rates are down 20 to 30%, sometimes a little bit more. But I think with the brand deals, not only are they more aggressive now, because like 2 years ago, I was working with these two companies, and they'd pitch brand deals, and it was every now and then. But now they're just like boom, 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 boom. I've never gotten so many offers for companies that in the past I never would have imagined. I mean, legitimate companies, but now they're more like mainstream companies are reaching out. Like I did one for ZipRecruiter, and like that's a company Like, what? Really? ZipRecruiter? Okay, great.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I feel like they never would have done that in the past. But then also YouTube is cracking down on that. That doesn't include paid promotion.
You have to check the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no one was doing that before because in the very beginning it would show like this video includes paid promotion, and especially in finance, you'd question the entire video because like, wait a second, does this mean the whole video is
True.
it might be financially biased towards one thing or another. So they started cracking down, and then it made you have to select, and obviously you're not going to lie on that. So it's so
Right.
now everyone has to check: is it paid or not? If it is, now people just are a little bit more aware of it.
Yeah. Now when I click on a video, I don't mind if has a paid promotion. I expect it.
Oh yeah.
Like, even if it doesn't say that, because I know, like, most big YouTubers, they're going to have, like, HelloFresh in there or something, you know?
Yeah. It's never bothered me. And that's why sometimes I don't get why people would be upset. It's just like, it's just like you watch TV and there's a commercial. Like, no one would ever be like, my TV show is interrupted by a commercial. It's just like...
I think
it's part
YouTube ads are worse than like in sponsorships, like
100%.
because you could just like tap the screen and skip past it. But if you have like an unskippable ad that YouTube provides, it's like, hey, you got to watch the
but
whole
YouTube's
thing.
got to make their money too.
Of course they do. Of course.
Somebody on Reddit, and I've started seeing it every now and then, got 3 unskippable ads. It's like they,
Were
like
they 15-second
In
ones?
a
No,
row?
yeah, in a row. It's like they'll get like a 5-second one or like a 10-second, a 10-second, another 5-second or so, like something like that. It's still under 30 seconds, but it's still like.
And still,
rules
when
of film.
compared to like television, it's still nothing. Television, you'd have like 8 minutes of content and then 3 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, so much more.
Yeah.
I think the people that do get annoyed of sponsorships, I could see it if you're not paying for the premium version of YouTube. So if you like just watch through an ad and then they do a sponsorship and then there's like another ad, like that would be kind of annoying. But when you pay for like premium YouTube, it's really not. I feel like I'm like, oh, because I just never see ads on YouTube. But I don't think that many people actually pay for it.
You know what it is? It's those darn kids.
What?
It's the kids. They're spoiled. They don't know. It's these darn
Yeah,
kids.
they don't know
Those
what it was
meddling
like
kids. They don't know what it was like to watch Nickelodeon.
TV.
You get 14 minutes, and then you get like 4 minutes of commercial, and then like that's your time to go make a hot pocket.
Yeah,
Go to the bathroom. You got to
seriously.
rush to get back. They don't know what it's like.
They don't.
Yeah.
And so when Netflix is have you seen that Netflix
Yeah,
is
they're
now
gonna
saying
add ads to like
Yeah.
a cheaper
Wait,
subscription.
they are?
Yeah.
I
Because
thought-
they're losing subscribers, and so they're like, oh, maybe we'll make like a cheaper one with ads.
No way.
Yeah.
Are they just losing it to YouTube?
Just I think to the other streaming platforms.
Yes.
Wow. To like HBO Max has a lot of good shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Disney
Amazon.
Plus.
So people might be like, oh,
Yeah, It's reverting back to cable. It's weird. Like we went from cable to Netflix. Like everything you need is on Netflix, and now it's like you need Netflix. It's Disney Plus, Hulu, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
HBO Max. Now there's 4 of them, and so now you're paying still less than cable, but you could be paying like $100 a month for all the different streaming services to get the shows that you want.
Wow.
it's a lot. Yeah, but I still just watch YouTube the most.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But YouTube is losing people to TikTok.
I know.
Yeah.
I've noticed even I go on TikTok more now.
Do you post
I
on TikTok?
never used to. A little. Not a lot. I kind of want to more just because it's like, it's kind of fun, but I overthink every TikTok. Like, I think of it like a YouTube video, like it needs to be good, but it doesn't really. You can just make it kind of quick.
Yeah, the thing about TikToks is you can lack so much context in TikToks. Like you don't have to tell the full story.
Yeah.
Like for example, like if we're clipping up one of Graham's videos, you should really be condensing Graham's entire 14-minute video down into like 30 seconds and just remove
sad.
all of the context of everything and just have like the facts. And that's the only way that you can be successful on TikTok.
Sometimes I don't want to though. Like, say I'm making a full YouTube video about like how much my Airbnb made in April. I could make it a TikTok, but then I feel like no one's gonna watch the YouTube video.
Different audience.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay,
am
okay.
shocked.
Okay.
Yeah.
so
Totally
that's
different.
fine.
Yeah, your 3D printed home video would get millions of views on TikTok. And that's the perfect
I
video to
got
clip
TikTok
up.
footage. I'm gonna make one after this.
Do that. And
Do it,
all you
yeah.
need to do, I wouldn't even show your face, just voiceover. This
Yeah.
is a 3D printed home. It just
Yeah.
You make sure you
45
add
seconds.
titles though.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
very important.
Okay.
Like a lot of people when they clip stuff up for TikTok, they make the entire thing like captioned.
Do you guys have a goal with posting on TikTok or just to like
Brand
have
awareness.
Yeah.
Like we realized also like he said, like the audiences have nothing to do with one another. For example, we posted a TikTok and it was getting 100,000 views an hour for probably 15 or 16 straight hours. It was probably at 1.5 million views. I noticed the difference in views we were getting on YouTube, like that were linked to that episode, were about 20 per hour. 20 views an hour on something that was getting 100,000 views an hour
Yeah.
on TikTok. There's no conversions from TikTok to YouTube. It's pure brand
Right.
awareness.
Even
Yeah.
shorts. I am shocked. When we do shorts, the people that hit that video are unlikely to watch like the long form content. Like
Yeah.
the people who like shorts. The people who like the long form videos, they like the long form.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We posted a YouTube short that it's at like 400,000 views, the Michael Reeves one. And 90% of the viewers were unique viewers. So people that had never seen the channel before. And still disproportionately did provide us with more subscribers than it would compared to a normal podcast that we would post with the same amount of views. But still, like it's just completely different audience.
Yeah, they're not really going to watch like regular
Right.
videos.
Yeah.
The other thing I've noticed too is that some of the TikToks we post that do well on TikTok don't do well on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then others do well on YouTube but not TikTok. I think it's kind of random on that.
Yeah. I feel like TikTok is so crazy how like you could get 1 million views and then the next one could get like 5,000, like very
Yeah.
few.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. That's
Yeah.
why if I were a brand that was like sponsoring someone, I'd be a little nervous about TikTok because I'd be like, is this going to be the one that blows up?
They pay a lot less on TikTok.
Oh,
A
brands
lot
do?
less. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's like a shorter video.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've seen people make tons of money through affiliates on TikTok.
Yeah.
And when people release products and they make TikToks on it, they can make so much money just by selling a product like that they can demo really well.
Yeah.
I worry what it's going to do to people's like, I don't want to say
Brains?
mental health, but yeah, it's just like that.
Like your attention.
Scrolling
I know.
and scrolling and scrolling. And I think that's where we're going. It's just like that quick attention span of like, hey, if you don't have 30 seconds, then you're done.
I feel like it's bad though. Like maybe since TikTok, I don't know, but sometimes I'll even be like, I feel like I can't even brush my teeth without looking at my phone or something. I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Or like wait in line for 10 seconds, look at my phone. Like,
Yep.
it's so
Well, I'm the same way.
like this is so now when I was in Seattle recently, I was like strictly like I'm reading before I go to sleep. Like I'm not getting on my phone because I'll scroll for like another hour.
Yeah.
We should expose ourselves right now.
What?
What are your guys' screen times?
Wait,
I
where do
like
you see
this.
it?
Let's do this.
Probably
I have
so
two. I have
much.
two phones.
Two phones.
so
You're gonna have to check both of them.
I'll
then.
check the one with the social media on it. How do you?
No,
how
you have
do
to check
that?
both of them because we got to see how much time you're spending on your phone, Graham.
I
Oh
feel
my
like mine's
God.
a lot.
You know what's funny? The amount of people who send me 2 cents on Venmo.
Do they?
Yes.
They just find it?
Yeah, I
I
got
think
one
it's
just
funny.
now. But I've gotten probably a few dozen of them, and everyone's like, 2 cents for. I want to get your 2 cents. Oh, turn on screen.
You
time.
had it turned
Oh
off,
my
Graham.
god!
I've never. Sure, this is my phone. I've never turned it on.
No.
Try the other phone.
It says
See, it wasn't
daily-
tracking.
Daily average
No.
says an hour and 40 minutes, or is that so far today?
No, that's
Oh,
your
look,
daily
turn on screen
average.
time.
Oh,
They're
okay.
both. They both.
That's really good.
There it is.
Yeah, that's really good. I will
turn
say,
on screen time. There you
I
go.
broke my phone working on my aquarium. I had a bunch of salt water leak onto it, and I was without my phone immediately after my phone broke. My first thought was, how am I going to get a new one as fast as possible?
Yeah.
That's how bad it
It's
was.
so bad. My phone was stolen last summer and I was like so irritated like the next day because I didn't have it to do things. I was like, this is so bad. I'm like addicted to it.
That's why you gotta get 2 phones.
You see,
So
you're
what do you, how do
living
you,
in
how
the
do you
future.
use the two?
The same.
Oh,
He literally uses them for the
I
exact
have
same
2 different
things.
numbers.
Oh, okay.
So-
You know you
one
can
is
double
for
SIM a
personal,
co-
one
a
for work,
phone.
kind
You
of?
really
Kind
should.
of. Yeah.
You know that,
It's
Graham,
not.
right?
They're both
What?
work
You can
phones.
double SIM a
Okay, yeah.
phone.
Yeah, he just has one phone he uses more. That's
Yeah, I could double
And
sim
then you
it.
could double SIM a phone, and then you could disable one of the SIMs when you don't want to use it. Like, why are you carrying around 2 phones if that's the only reason?
I'm just used to it now.
You always text me so like randomly on your other number, and
Me
you have
too.
different names
Because
for each
sometimes-
phone, and it confuses me. And then I get back to you on the wrong number.
No, I see them both, but sometimes it's because I'm on the old phone and I'll be scrolling and I just text you because I know you have the number.
See, that's the thing. You know that I'm gonna get back to
That's
you. but it's-
okay.
Wait, so Jack,
It's
what was your
fun.
screen time?
It's bad, man. It's,
Here, I'll show you mine.
5 hours, 40 minutes.
Okay, no, that's not bad. Look,
Broken up by 32 minutes on TikTok.
oh, you can't see
Is that
this.
bad?
Okay,
I don't know.
5 hours and 5 minutes is my daily average.
This
so.
is up 41% from last week, though.
Oh, so it's more than normal.
Yeah,
for
like
you.
it's usually what 3 hours. Then
Mine's down 56%, so mine's normally more.
it's normally like 3 hours.
Yeah.
They were about the same. I just
Yeah.
happened to have a hefty week last week, and also like half of it is messages.
Oh yeah.
which
I
a
can't
lot of
even
it is
see the
work
breakdown.
correspondence.
Yeah, I
That's
think-
surprising because you never get back
Like
to me.
if you're talking like distractions, it's only 30 minutes on TikTok.
Yeah, that's not that
And
bad.
30 minutes is Google Maps. So it's like, yeah, it's not bad.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's concerning to me just how addictive I think TikTok is
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
so many people, and just how quick time goes by when you're on it.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing.
It's the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With so much content, they could pick and choose just like the best little bits, and within 30 minutes, it knows you. And it knows by location too.
Yeah.
So when we traveled, sure enough, you're getting Yosemite TikToks.
Yeah,
Like
I get
instantly. It's
things to
nuts.
do in Las Vegas
Yeah.
this weekend, which I kind of like. I'm like,
Right.
oh, whoa, I want to
I don't mind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
But
be
it's sorta
surprised
weird.
if it knows like what you're doing on other apps too.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it sees you text, be
Yeah.
like, I'm going to buy dog food. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, show dogs, show dogs, show
Okay.
dogs.
I was working on
Yeah.
a video where, you know how people do the like buy stuff on Alibaba and like make a website for it and sell it? I was
Yeah.
like working on a video where I tried that. So I made a website and was like making a TikTok ad for this product. And they were like, you have to put on your website, if you're going to advertise on TikTok, this privacy policy. Because they basically like, they make you say, like, it's a copy and paste thing, I think, from TikTok. But it basically just is because TikTok is looking at more stuff, I think is what it is.
Wow.
And so you have to like disclose that or they won't even like show your ad.
That's
I was
crazy.
like,
That would
whoa.
be another great video for you to do, is to get a brand new phone, brand new, like not traced to you, just like with a burner SIM card or whatever,
Yeah.
and see if your phone listens to you and to what degree.
Oh,
And like
yeah.
be like, I'm going to travel to a new location. Let's just see what happens. And then, I'm going to say these words here. Okay, now I'm going to send a few texts and like keep going down the rabbit hole until pretty soon it knows like where you are, what you like, what you're doing, how old you are. Like, I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. All the ads.
Yes.
Everything.
To see just how well it gets in.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Yeah. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. You
Hey,
know
guy-
what? I gotta run really quick, Jack. Do you mind taking over? I got something really important.
Yeah. Go for it, man.
There's a like button that needs to be hit.
Yeah. What'll this be, like a minute or two?
Something like that.
All right. Cool. Sounds
I'll
good.
be right back.
All
Jack.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys may notice something looks a little off here. Yes, Graham, what did you do? He got a haircut.
Got a haircut.
Yeah, so he looks like this now. No, I'm just kidding, guys. This is Alex. Graham's actually on a flight here, and we're in a bit of a time crunch because Shelby, our guest right here, she has to leave. Where are you going?
I'm going to Maui and the flight's at 5:40. So we're like trying to make it work.
Yeah, your flight leaves in like an hour or so, and Graham's flying into Vegas, so he's a bit late to the podcast due to some flight delays. So we're just recording this before Graham arrives, but we'll throw it in on the second half of the podcast.
Yeah. We'll
And,
still make it work.
We will make it work. So thanks for making all this happen.
Yeah. Thanks for having me again. I was excited to come back.
The one thing I do want to talk about, I have a question, and I'm gonna look so stupid if Shelby's not the one who did this. Probably not. I'm sorry, Shelby. Did you do the rent out your pool? Was that you?
Oh, I did a video where I tried it.
Yeah. Okay.
Swimply.
Yeah. So before you did that, I've been telling Graham that he should let me, his assistant, rent out his pool and let me make some income.
Yeah, people make a lot on it. Like I rented two for that video, I think. Maybe one more, I can't remember. But I rented one and I talked to the host because I was like explaining how I was making a video about it. He was like, yeah, it pays like quite a bit. I forget exactly how much he said, but a lot of them are like $100 an hour. But the thing is, it's pretty expensive to heat a pool.
Oh,
So-
it has to be
pool for the.
Yeah, people want it heated. But I guess it's like if it's already like pretty hot out, it's not as expensive to heat a pool. Like if it's 90 degrees every day, it's really not as much. So it could be worth it. I mean, if people are renting it every day, then it could be. I forget though how much it seemed worth it if so many people are on the platform renting
That's
their
pretty
pools.
crazy. $100 an hour.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And
know,
what are the
it's a
types of
lot.
people that rent these pools? Because I could never imagine
Right.
myself going out. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna rent a pool for 3
Well,
hours. Spend
imagine you get
$300.
together with your friends and you want like a private pool that you can like.
It's not. It's in someone's backyard.
No, yeah, but
Yeah.
at least it's not like you're not at a hotel with like a bunch of randoms, you know?
I know.
You're renting the
It's
pool.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
I think those are the types of people. But I think that you should try it out, Jack, because Jack's been experimenting with renting out a room in his bedroom on Airbnb.
Oh, wait, do you have a pool too?
I do.
And he has a
You
pool.
should rent it out and see.
And make a video.
Yeah.
So I rented out my room. I was planning on talking about this when Graham was here, but he already knows all the stories.
Yeah,
it's
so you're
fine.
in the Airbnb game too.
I tried it and I had 5 people, like 5 nights, 3
Yeah.
people, 5 nights. It was fine. I was really surprised at how easy it was to get on Airbnb.
Right?
Like, I don't know if the
It's-
qualifications are different if it's a separate house versus if it's a room, because I was just doing a room, but it was very easy.
All right, guys.
Making-
I'm going to go pick up Graham right now.
Okay.
Yeah. This is all the time I got, guys.
Thanks, Alex. You did
Yeah,
great.
thank you,
Cool.
guys.
You did great,
Appreciate you.
man.
No, I will be picking up Graham. You guys continue the conversation, and I will be right back.
Thanks, Alex.
A lot of people are worried with Swimply, like the liability, of course. Like, what if somebody drowns in your pool?
I'm worried about Airbnb and the liability.
Yeah, it definitely, I have insurance for that. Just liability insurance. You have to in the city of Palm Springs, they make you. So there's a lot more rules in Palm Springs than probably here or most places really. So actually setting up the Airbnb listing is so easy and simple. But if you are somewhere that has, like the city has regulations, then your listing is illegal. But I bet here there aren't really any.
Yeah, they're
don't
really,
know.
well, okay, so actually technically Airbnb isn't even legal in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
I think it's going to be passed and it will be made legal in like a couple months. But they're also not, because the entire economy in Las Vegas revolves around like hotels and like visitors. So, like,
they probably are trying to lobby. for-
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Airbnb is going to be legal in a couple of months, but when they do make it legal, I heard what's going to happen is you're only going to be able to have 5 listings.
That's kind of a lot.
It is a lot, but I was also wondering, it's like if you're doing rooms, then 5 rooms isn't that much. But I heard it was just 5 listings in total. So whether that be a room, whether that be like a guest unit or a full house, it's like you can only have 5, which is
Yeah.
also like not super motivating if I was planning on getting into the Airbnb game, knowing that like I'm capped at 5.
Yeah. I mean, you could always get 1 or 2 here and then get some in other places.
Yeah, true.
I kind of like that idea because then you could have a mountain.
Yeah, your own place to stay as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. Like having, I mean, I think it'd be really cool to have 5 different Airbnbs, like one where you can go skiing, one near a beach, the desert one. It's hard to get them in major cities
That's
though,
a good
because
idea.
that's where you run into all the rules,
Yeah.
And
I
what-
actually like that
yeah.
idea a lot.
right? It'd be cool.
Because then you get travel for free.
Yeah. I found I actually spend a lot less money too on like a vacation because I just go to Palm Springs now and the house is free essentially for me. So that's kind of a nice perk to it. It's like if you already own a bunch of Airbnbs, you're not really going to care as much to go travel somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like you probably will a little bit, but you don't like have that craving as much.
See, that sounds lovely. When I was renting out a room in my house, I was like having random people come and stay with me.
Yeah. What
which
was
like
it like?
I wasn't a huge fan. I really, I gotta be honest, I hated it. Yeah, like people coming and staying, that was fine. And the people were really nice and amicable and we got along just fine. But the second people that stayed, like they requested early check-in and late checkout. And I granted it to them, you know, but like at the same time I was like, okay, this is not a good sign. And then between the time of checkout and late checkout, the extra hour or 2 that I gave them, this girl brought over her ex-boyfriend and he smoked a cigarette in my room.
Oh, what?
And I was
in
like-
your room? They went in
No,
your room?
not my room,
Oh,
but
okay,
no,
yeah.
in their room. Yeah,
That's still weird though.
yeah, I know. And it was in between the like extra time that I gave them. It was in that hour. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then after that, I was like, okay, I don't want to rent to anyone else. And I tried to turn off Instant Book. Apparently I didn't. And I got Instant Booked like the next
Another?
day.
Oh,
yeah. And then that person recognized me.
Oh,
And that
would
made
be kind of
the whole situation a little unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously you have to watch what you say and do, like around anybody, if they're, you know, just like, I don't know, staying at your house, but especially if they know who you are, then you're like, okay, I really have to like, you know, be on my best
Totally.
behavior.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would be nervous to rent out just a room.
Yeah.
I had an old roommate who said that she did that
Mm-hmm.
when she was in college and it paid for her whole rent. Like she did it when one of her roommates moved out early
Mm-hmm.
and then she just rented a room and most of the people were fine, but it was
On
she
rare
was, like,
occasion, you get
cleaning
someone
it.
that's just like crazy.
Yeah. I think that's true. Like I haven't had any terrible Airbnb guests, but there was one kind of difficult one. And I feel like that's just sort of bound to happen. And so it's way more invasive if it's your own house. Like for the Palm Springs house, if something breaks in it, I'm kind of like detached. I'm like, it's fine. We'll just get something else.
Yeah, you have a property manager and everything.
Yeah. And it feels like a business. Like it doesn't feel like my personal stuff. Like if something really bad happens to it, I'd just be like, well, it's fine. We'll just get another. So.
I want to talk about the Airbnb stuff more, but I'm just thinking like Graham will want some of the conversation.
I know. Yeah, that's like.
I'll ask you random questions. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Who are your biggest mentors in your life? Like the people that you idolized, and what were your biggest takeaways from them?
This is a tough one because I feel like I haven't had a lot of like traditional like, oh, this is my mentor or whatever. I guess maybe with
you could say idols, people that just you learned a lot from. It could even be like a random YouTuber that taught you a lot.
I'll always have a few channels where I'm like, whoa, I really like their editing or like.
So that's a lot of what you take away when you consume YouTube is like the style of post-production.
Yeah. Or even just like the fonts people use, whatever. And have you seen Johnny Harris's videos? No. They're so good. The editing, it's like he was a journalist for Vox. And so they're just very professional. And I feel like I've accidentally stumbled into like almost making like journalistic style videos, like documentary style. Yeah. So I saw his and I just thought it was really cool that he's like an actual journalist YouTuber because there haven't really been much of that. It's like people making videos, but they wouldn't be considered actual journalists. And I think that he actually is. Like you would consider him one. So his videos are really cool. I'm trying to think. I mean, when I was
it doesn't have to be YouTube related.
Yeah. I guess just like coaches that I had doing gymnastics and stuff growing up. My brother, also I have an older brother, and he's always had just a very strong work ethic that inspired me to work harder probably than if I didn't have a brother. Like I feel like he'd be very much like get good grades, and my parents are kind of chill about it. Like they're like, it's fine. But my brother would be like, you should really like try in school.
You should try. Yeah. Give it a good effort.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Or even I went to Orange Coast College when I first moved to California, and the teachers there were very, like, I guess they just like were very helpful because the classes are really small. It's a community college, and they could have easily been sort of, I don't know, go the traditional film route, like transfer to Chapman or USC or one of those film schools. But they were like, what you're doing is great. Like really, we're pushing for YouTube because they were seeing the future of it back in like 2014 when a lot of people thought, what is this still, like, is this really a job? And so that was really helpful because they taught me a lot about how to actually shoot better and edit better and all of that. And were just really encouraging rather than being like, this stuff isn't good. Like I don't know. I thought going into it, they would think YouTube was kind of silly and like not that good, but they were like the biggest hype people.
That's crazy,
ever.
Especially back in 2014, like you said, when like everyone, there was a huge stigma on YouTube. And I mean, there still is. It's like, oh, you can make money off of that? That's still what everyone says. But at the same time, it's like, especially back then.
Right. And I don't know. I just thought it would seem like embarrassing to like a more legit like film thing, but they were all about it. So that was really cool. And like some of them were like, oh, I remember one teacher connected me to someone to try and get a job at like CBS or something like that. It was CBS, yeah. But obviously I just do YouTube. So that has worked out. I've never done like a regular job.
Never?
Never.
You've never like worked at a restaurant?
No.
You've never
I really wanted
retail?
to. When I was younger, I really wanted to work at Starbucks like up the street.
But your parents didn't let you or what?
Well, I was 14, so you couldn't yet.
That makes sense, yeah.
And I just started making videos then. So by the time I was the age where you could get a normal job, it would have been like a pay cut from YouTube. Like it would have been less.
That's crazy.
Right?
Do you feel like there's a part of you that's like missing since you never got to experience like
kind of like
a 9 to 5 or something like that?
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, trust me, you don't want to, but I kind of wish I knew for myself.
Yeah.
I thought about
it's
doing
just a life experience at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally. And I liked having structure and all of that. Like I kind of liked being in school when I was in school. Like I wasn't one of those people who really hated it. But I do prefer kind of just doing my own thing. I think there is like a reason a lot of 9 to 5 jobs are the way that they are because it kind of works, right? You know how a lot of people want to work for themselves so that they don't have to work as much or can work weird hours. But then you find when you do work for yourself, you probably work more or you stick to 9 to 5 hours anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of stick to that because if you don't, you're still going to get emails or whatever it is when you're not working or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it just gets like confusing if you don't stick to it, I think.
It's just so silly.
Yeah.
It's like when I was working at like an actual job, like I was a busboy at a restaurant. It's like I would do anything to be like an entrepreneur, working my own schedule, like, you know, doing whatever I want with all my free time. But now it's like, you know, I've been doing it for like 2-3 years now. And now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I just want like a structured, like 9 to 5 even. Like that sounds amazing right now. As silly as that seems, like clocking in and clocking out.
Yes. Sometimes it does seem nice to be able to go somewhere and then just
Do you want what you can't have?
done with it. Yeah,
That's
totally.
exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. People are probably watching and they're like, shut up, like YouTube.
I know. I probably sound so ridiculous saying that, but it's just so hard to stay structured and to like, for example, like 5 comes around. A big part of it is like knowing how to turn off the work brain. And it's like 5 comes around and it's like things always come up after 5. And it's like, you know, 7, say you want a hard deadline at 7, stuff comes around at 8. Graham will text me at 9. Hey, what do you think about this thumbnail? And then I spend, you know, some time thinking about the thumbnail or whatever.
Yeah. Little things like that.
Yeah.
I always try to like when the sun is down, I really don't want to work on anything because I feel like,
out?
So like in the winter, it's a little earlier, but it's like actually just the way that I work, I find I'm not even like my brain is not fresh anymore. I'm not even doing a good job at things once I'm kind of tired. Like I'm very much a morning person. So I'd rather wake up early and get everything done and then have the afternoon to chill or work out or whatever.
That makes sense. How's your like work-life balance right now? How many hours do you work per week? What's your team like?
Whoa. Lately, it's my work-life balance has been a lot more life than work, I would say. Yeah. Because basically I've been like sort of a nomad. Like I put all my stuff in storage. Yeah. And then I've done a couple month-long Airbnbs. And whenever I do that, I'm able to like get in a routine and work on a lot of videos. But this last week has been more of just like bouncing around. So I get a good amount of editing done, but anytime you have to go to the airport and like do all of that, you end up wasting so many hours just like in the car. Yeah. Walking through the airport. And it's kind of exhausting too. Like once you get there, I always want to like rest a little bit. So I haven't been working as much, but I have so much stuff still to edit. And I feel like I've still had the same output somehow. But I actually just signed a lease for an apartment. And so I think once I get back into a routine, it'll be much more structured. So I really don't even know how many hours I would consider I've worked, honestly. But not as probably half as much as I usually do in the last month, just from like traveling around. But
but you're still maintaining.
Recording. Yeah,
that's the thing that I've realized is it's like it's very easy to maintain, and it's very easy just to like keep whatever you have been doing going forever. And like you can do, let's say 90% of what you usually do with like, you know, 30% of the time allocation. Yeah. It's just like,
it's so
there's so much time that's wasted. It's like Parkinson's law kind of. It's like the job will take as long as the amount of time that you give to do the job.
Yeah. I know I've thought a lot about that because I do go the extra mile when I have more time or when I'm in a routine. But also sometimes it just doesn't matter that much.
Going the extra mile can take like, you know, 200% of the amount of time you wanted it to take. And then all of a sudden it's like, is it really worth it?
Yeah, I know. I've thought about that because it'll be like for one shot. Yeah. And if you have to drive 20 minutes to go get it and whatever. Yeah. So I used to do that a lot more, but lately I've been like, okay, I can repurpose an old shot. Like, it doesn't really matter. Do that kind of thing. But you have your own YouTube channel now, right?
Hardly. Yeah, I do. Really? No, I mean, I have 2 videos posted. I have 2 videos in the works right now. There's been this one video that was a complete monster to edit. It was like 7 hours of raw, nearly 8 actually, hours of raw footage. So I walked to St. George, Utah for a Tinder date.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I walked straight into the Tinder date after like, you know, 5 days of walking. Yeah.
I mean, that's like a Mr. Beast type of title, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it's kind of an exciting thing, but it's so hard to edit that style of video when I'm so used to like editing other types of videos, such as reaction videos and like random stuff like that. It's very technical. I'm not a great technical editor, but I'm good at keeping rhythm and keeping pacing and stuff like that. But like,
it's always nice to have a video where you know all you really have to do is cut out the dead space and add some music and titles. Yeah. Like those are sort of fun to edit. Whenever I edit my main channel videos, I'm like, oh my God, it's like doing a puzzle. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, where should I put this? I end up changing everything. So sometimes it's like, I'd rather just edit a vlog because they're so easy.
They're
like
so
those are
easy.
actually really fun to edit.
Yeah.
But main channel stuff, unless I just shot footage that I'm like so excited to use because it turned out really good, then I can be a little bit like daunted with that.
Yeah, I feel that. This entire project has been so daunting. Like I filmed it like nearly 2 months ago and I've just been sitting on it. Yeah. And I've edited like a decent amount of it. Like we brought down the 8 hours to 40 minutes or 35 minutes. But at the same time, it's just like, every time I open up the timeline, I just look at it, I'm just like, this is going to be like 6 hours and I'll get a minute done. You know?
That's how I felt with that. I showed you guys that OnlyFans documentary. Yeah. And I still haven't posted that because it's the same thing. So much footage.
But when are you going to do it then? That's the thing. I'm asking myself the same question. So it's not like, you know what I mean?
I know. I mean, I have a cut that's pretty much done, but I need to like go add little things. But every time I go to open it, it takes like literally 20 minutes to even open the file.
Oh, just to render it?
Yeah, because it'll have missing clips, so I have to relink everything. Yeah. And that whole process takes a while. So it's not something I'm going to like real quick, like open my laptop and get a little bit of editing done. Yeah. It's like, you're going to need like a 4-hour block to work on this. And then with like I've just found this year, there's been so many like brand stuff, like things that just come up and I end up not prioritizing it when, I don't know, I really want to get it out there. But yeah.
That's been the exact same story with me and the Tinder video. It's just so much.
Yeah, it's hard. Because you still, you work on the podcast. Do you still work with Graham?
Yeah, pretty much like I will say, a lot of my responsibility is the podcast. And then I hired out a lot of the stuff that I was doing. So Graham still like sources his work or like the production of certain channels through me, but then I just source that through someone else. Right. And I kind of like am quality control, making sure that like the standards are still hit, the deadlines are still hit. And it's actually, I found it more profitable for us. I mean, Graham's costs have stayed the exact same. I have like so much more time on my hands and I'm able to allocate, to other things where it's like, I'm not editing, let's say, where like maybe my time value is like, a wage, like $30 an hour, $40 an hour, something like that. And I can go do something that, find another sponsor or try to scale on TikTok or something like that.
Yeah. What do you do with now the more free time?
Honestly, play ping pong. I play a lot of ping pong. Yeah, it's bad.
Fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I love it. I'm having a great time. I'm just critiqued by Graham a lot.
Okay. I'm very pro having hobbies. I feel like people don't have as many hobbies because everyone's like working all the time. Yeah. But now that I found I can even like, I feel like I could work like very few hours in a week and it be fine. Mm-hmm. But then I do like get excited about a video and I want to more. Yeah. But it's just not that fulfilling if you are constantly working and you just like have nothing else. Like I feel like you end up getting bored of whatever.
And you get better at working when you work less. Yeah. It's like if you work less, I found a positive ROI on that. As silly as it may seem, but like the time that I do now spend working, it's like I'm getting done like 5 times as much work as I was in an hour now than I was back in the day when I was doing all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and this is like a big qualm or gripe that Graham and I have with each other. It's like, Graham's like, yeah, you got to work more. And it's like, I've been in the trenches and I've done the thing where like you work like ridiculous amount of hours every week for, a year or 2 straight. And I hated it. And I wasn't getting that much done.
And it's a personality type that can do it. That can like work all the time and like they really do actually love it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's not everyone. It's not a lot of people probably. But like I still feel guilty if I'm not working like
me too.
A lot.
Me too.
Just because it's kind of how our society is, like working all the time. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it can be helpful to not a little bit.
There's a lot of pressure to just work a lot. And I'm not like anti-work at all, like at all. I love working, but especially being in this environment when you're around like people that are like, I'm building this new vertical. I'm coming out with my own chocolate bar and stuff like that. And it's like, oh my God, like everyone's doing so much. And then you look at yourself and you're like, well, I have another podcast episode. I have 2 more sponsors and you're just doing the same thing and you're maintaining. It's kind of like, it's disheartening, I try to keep the perspective that like, working right now and gaining money and wealth or whatever, it's like, that's all it means to an end. So it's like, you have to remember that like, are you working to get more money, to have more free time? You know what I mean? It's like, what if you can have a good balance right now? What if you can enjoy your, your money right now or your free time right now? So
right. I know. I think I feel like a lot of people can, but don't let themselves.
Certainly.
Sometimes for good reason to like, maybe you're really working to like set up yourself later. But there are people who like, they have more than enough for the rest of their life even. And they're still just working like so much.
Some people they just like working, some people like entrepreneurship and stuff like that. I love entrepreneurship and I like working a lot, but I like working when I feel like the time that I am spending working is like actually doing something. And I don't want to add more work on when I feel like it's just redundant work or it's work that isn't important. I want to try to find something first that I feel like, okay, I have an impact with this work, and then I can go head first into that.
Right.
But I'm not going to try to force it and just work for no reason.
Just doing it for the sake of staying busy. Yeah. I've totally done that before. Just been like, I should be doing something productive right now. Like,
and then you don't do anything productive.
Yeah. It's just like, kind of, I don't know.
It would be more productive to sit and to think and just to go for a walk and enjoy your time. I feel like,
Actually going for walks, I come up with I think a lot of good ideas doing that, but it's easy to forget too. Cause like in a lot of cities, you have to like intentionally go walk. Like I think maybe I'm sure there's more, but like if you're in New York, you're walking all the time. And I feel like it gives you more energy and I think of more ideas. I just kind of enjoy it. Like that's something I've realized.
Yeah, I love walking. That was, I mean, that was a huge portion of like the whole walking to Utah thing because like
you already like it.
I love walking. Yeah. And I thought, oh, well, I can combine walking and film a video about it and it has to be clickable. So I'll walk into a Tinder date. And I'm like, well, it all works out. But I'm with you on that. And there's also a study that was done that shows that forward momentum that you create when you're walking, it creates like forward thinking. It's weird. So like if you're moving forward, then your brain can think in some, I don't know, more effective way or something like that. And there were studies that were done on that. So that's what Graham and I used to do when we lived in Santa Monica together. We would go for walks every single day and we would be thinking about like video ideas, topics, like how we can grow and scale the business and stuff like that while we were walking because it was more effective that way.
I know I've heard of, I forget who it is, but different like successful people that do walking meetings only.
Walking meetings?
Yeah, it's like instead of meeting for coffee, like they'll go on a walk with someone.
That's smart.
That's like the meeting. Yeah, because I feel like it kind of gets your brain thinking differently.
How does it make you feel when you see another video titled "Millionaire Reacts Shelby Church something 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 money"? Because we've done like at this point 10 of them maybe.
Oh really? Okay, I've seen some where I'm like, wait, that video wasn't even new. Like you guys must have found it and you're like, oh, we should react to this one. And I'm like, that one's so old. Okay, the first time I ever saw one, I was like, what the heck? Like, what did he say? You know, like I thought we were chill.
Yeah, now you're just used to it.
And then but watching it, he never says anything like that mean.
Yeah. What does he say that is mean though?
I don't remember because I haven't watched one in a long time. I should
good.
react to his reaction or whatever.
Should you?
I think I recorded that a long time ago, but I never uploaded it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the thumbnails are out of hand. I think I told him that once. I was like, they actually crack me up. I'm like, how do you guys even think of this?
Yeah.
Like his head exploding. Yeah. But sometimes it's like, whoa, really clickbaity, but it does work.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Graham likes to take a positive situation and in the packaging of the video, spin it in a bad way, which like it works. Unfortunately, that's what gets the clicks.
People click on like fear stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's a very easy emotion to trigger. Yeah. It's like one of the reasons why I feel like Shane Dawson's whole like docuseries did well is because like they were all rooted in like being scary and like it's such an easy emotion to elicit. And for an audience and for creator, one of the most powerful things you can do is to get the viewer feel some sort of like actual emotion, whether that be like rage, even towards yourself, to the creator, rage or sadness or fear. And it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his thumbnails do get me because I'm like, wait, like, the housing market is gonna burst. Like,
yeah, and then you click on it and it's like, the housing market's doing super well, guys. Yeah. Make sure you dollar cost average in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like total clickbait where you click on the video and it's about something totally different or like,
sometimes,
you know.
Yeah. We really try to border that, you know.
I feel like people still get something out of it though, if they are interested in personal finance. Yeah, it's not like, I think it would be totally different if
the content
he was
didn't
just
deliver.
like pushing like sketchy tactics.
That's exactly my logic behind it too. It's like, well, if you have to clickbait, it's fine because we're teaching people good things.
I think so too. I think it's like a net positive.
Yeah.
What you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Does he run out of video ideas or like
all the time?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like literally to the point of being like, all right, Jack, I have no idea what to talk about. There's nothing going on in the markets. I've checked every single website. I've looked at Reddit, CNN, like everything. I can't find anything. And I'm like, well, let's just think. And then we just think sometimes. Not so much as, as much as we used to when we lived together, but like, yeah, we would just think like, well, can you make a video about this? I've already done that 4 times. All right, let's go to the next one. He'd come up with another idea.
It's hard to just be like, okay, I'm just going to think of ideas. I feel like I come up with like 10 bad ones and then maybe one good one where I'm like, okay, that can maybe work.
That's what Mr. Beast does. He has like...
Oh, he just like sits and forces himself.
So I think I heard somewhere, I don't remember exactly where it was from, but like people will provide Mr. Beast with like a list of maybe, let's just say, maybe I'm not getting the numbers right, but like 100 or so video ideas. And he just goes through every single one of them and then circles like 5 of them. And then from those 5, they weed it down to like, 1 or 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I actually did a video where I hired someone on Fiverr to like write the video idea for me. And I hired a few different people. So I hired one person to come up with video ideas for me. And it was really interesting to see what they came up with. And they would have reasons for it. They're like, this is pretty searchable. But it was really random stuff like how to make a campfire. Like things that were just like, wait, I don't think that would fit on my channel.
Yeah.
But it's helpful, I think, to have someone have a fresh set of eyes and look at it. Mm-hmm. Me and my friend were talking about how we want to do like a creator retreat, like everyone goes and stays at a cool Airbnb or something, and we're assigned to think of like 5 video ideas for each person's channel and then present them one night so everyone can hopefully come away with some cool ideas.
That would be awesome.
Right? I think it would be helpful and like productive.
Yeah. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, something like that. But I hate organizing that stuff.
Yeah, that's always the worst.
Yeah.
Do you strictly budget?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, I probably should, but I really don't. Because I don't know. I spend definitely less, like much less than I'm making, but I don't really budget it out like that crazy.
Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer in like budgets are generally good for people, but at the same time, it's like the best budget that you can potentially have is just to not have expensive taste. So it's like, I don't budget for myself because I know that like, I know that sounds so ridiculous. I got this for free. This one right here, it looks like an expensive shirt. I got it for free. The watch was an investment, but I don't have expensive taste. So it's really easy for me to like not have a budget and not be in a hole.
Me too. Like I've always been more of a saver than a spender. Yeah. And so I trust that I'm never really like going over that because I'll still be like weirdly cheap about things where it doesn't even make sense sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like adding avocado to something that
I won't do it either.
Yeah. Sometimes I won't, but a lot of times I will. But like it's like a $2 add-on and then I won't blink about like hiring someone to get like footage for $300 or whatever. Yeah. But it's different. It's hard to budget too when you're making videos and you have all these business expenses. Like, I don't know, sometimes I'll be shooting and I'll buy lunch for whoever's helping me shoot. But I feel like that's just reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that whole avocado thing is so funny because I was out at it was actually during the walk where we swung by a Subway. It was me and my brand manager. And I didn't add avocado. And he was like, Jack, why didn't you have avocado? Like, I know you like it. And I said, well, it was extra $1. And he's like, why'd you get the sandwich that you got? And I was like, it was the cheapest sandwich on like the menu.
Yeah.
And like, it's so silly because like for $2 extra, I could have got avocado or maybe I could have got a better sandwich. But it's like, those expenses are the hardest ones. But like other random stuff, I totally agree with you. It's like, I don't know, the stuff for the house. It's like, I'll spend, $1,000 on random stuff. Like I just spent $1,000 for speakers for my car. Yeah. It's like, it's so like, it doesn't work, I don't know why those tiny expenses are so challenging.
I know, but then, I know I feel the same thing. Like I spent so much on the Palm Springs Airbnb that it almost made me feel like, oh, it's okay to spend this much. I'm like, wait, no, this is like for something. Yeah. And it will pay off. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like budgeting is, obviously good if you need to, but it's kind of like, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't want to like live my life that way.
It also takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just makes it not fun.
So what do you spend your money on? Is it mostly experiences or is it material things?
Lately, it's just a lot of travel, like a lot of Airbnbs, airplane tickets, like going out to dinner, that kind of thing. I like never buy clothes because I'm like living out of a suitcase the last 6 months. So like occasionally I will, but it makes me not want to buy clothes because I don't want to have to deal with them. Like I just only have so much space, which I think is kind of a good thing. But I definitely spend a lot of money just on things for videos or like a lens. Like I recently bought a lens that was like $1,000, and that was a thing where I just was like, oh, I need this. Like I didn't even think twice about it, but obviously way more expensive than like a $2 add-on avocado. Yeah. But because it's for a video, it feels just justified. So yeah, I feel like it's a lot on travel, more on experiences. Yeah. Or like setting up the Airbnb. That was definitely like what I spent the most money on. So furniture, stuff like that, which was kind of a fun way to like satisfy wanting to buy material things. Yeah, but it's justifying for a business.
By a business.
Yeah, like it still was fun, and it felt like, I guess, yeah, it's still technically like my stuff, but it made it so I didn't.
You don't have the attachment to it.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like putting all my stuff in storage made me have like a lot less attachments to things in general. Because I thought I would even like miss having my own bed, but once it's like in storage, I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, I'm actually better sleeping all over the place than I was before.
So I'm confused. So you're just traveling all over the place? Do you not have a technically like a residence right now?
Basically, now I do. I like have an apartment in Seattle, but I have to go set it up when I get back from this next trip because I'm kind of sick of it, honestly. But my like lease was up in LA, and I was looking at other places, and they just didn't even feel worth it. Like it was when all the rents were going up probably like 20% from what they were the previous year because all the COVID deals, they like want to make their money back from that. So I would tour these places and be like, I just am not excited to pay $3,000 a month for this. Like it just doesn't even feel worth it. And I had been in LA for like 8 years, but I didn't really know where I wanted to go. So I like was able to get like a storage company to let me store my stuff for free for 4 months. So I was like, why not try this? Just putting it in a video.
Oh.
So yeah, I was like, why not try it? One of my friends was gonna be in New York for a month anyway. I'll start there and go for the month. And it was really fun. Like I really wanted to move to New York after that. But then touring places in New York, I was like, this is like, it feels like a scam.
Oh, is it that expensive?
Yeah, like the amount you pay. I just posted a video touring some places. So these were like prime locations this broker showed me. So you can find a nice place in like Brooklyn or like the financial district, places that are maybe a little less inconvenient, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he showed me like the prime location. So of course they're going to be like way more expensive. And it was like $5,000 a month, no washer and dryer in the unit. Like they weren't even really that nice. Like
the inside wasn't that nice either?
No, like it was fine. It was still like kind of nice, but not compared to what you can get literally anywhere else. Jeez. And that's like a mortgage of like $1 million house. Yeah. When you think about it like that, you're like, this is crazy. And then also in New York, you pay way more in taxes, right? And so that together, I was like, whoa, why do people do this?
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's like a really amazing city, but when you really look at like exactly how much you're paying to live there, it's crazy. I'm like, I don't know. I'd rather just visit, I guess.
So you landed on Seattle?
Yeah.
Why Seattle?
Because I'm from there and I haven't lived there since I like moved 8 years ago. I've never really lived in the city. I lived in a suburb when I grew up there. And so I think it'll be cool. It's way cheaper. There's no state income tax there. I found an apartment that I actually am excited about and that's like nice. So that was part of it. It's just being like, okay, this is a place I actually want and I feel worth paying for than everywhere else. But I feel like I'm going to miss the good weather of California. So I'm like, I don't know. I'll try Seattle. Maybe it'll be fine because I can go to Palm Springs from time to time. But I'm like,
yeah, just try it out for a little bit.
Right.
My brother lives in Seattle. He likes it.
Oh, yeah.
And iDubbbz is moving to Seattle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. It's very nice in the summer. So it's like going into the summer will be awesome. But I think the winter I might be like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's very gloomy.
Yeah.
And that wraps up Jack Chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Shelby, for being my first ever guest to Jack Chat. And
happy to.
Yeah, get your free stock down below in the description using Graham's affiliate link. Sign up for the mentorship group. Shelby, shout out what you want to shout out. Tell people what's up.
You can go check out my main channel, Shelby Church. if you've never seen it, go check it out.
So thank you so much for coming on, Shelby. It's great seeing you. It's the 3rd time you've been on the podcast. We
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having me.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for
also
having me.
appreciate you getting your free stock down below in the description when you sign up for Public using the code GRAND, because that's worth all the way up to $1,000.
Yes.
Go fast
Get
to say that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it work.